Welcome to today's crypto and stocks TA live stream. Today is October 7th, 2021. It's about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. And we're going to do a shorter stream today. I went really long yesterday. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with total crypto market cap total index. Okay, you might be wondering, why did we pull back? Very simple, very simple. Two reasons. We hit this resistance here. We hit this resistance point on total index 2.38 trillion, which this has been here for a very long time, for 6 months now, this resistance zone. So we were able to forecast there's going to be some pressure there, selling pressure there. And again, when you get a little too overextended, okay, you see when we get a little too excited in the crypto market, we just go straight up, right? There's no time to rest and pull back down. There's a very small pullback here on Bitcoin, and we went up. So we just hit that resistance point, and it's turning into, it's not a closed candle yet. We're gonna have to wait 3.5 hours at the time of this video to wait for this candle to close, so we can see and know what's going to happen. Let's go to Bitcoin. I should point out that this rally was fueled partly by Wall Street. So if you understand what happened in the stock market today, we rallied in the stock market. So then the money's going to flow out of crypto, out of Bitcoin, and into stocks, because many stocks went 6, 7, 8% today. That's a lot of money, percentage wise, right? We had very nice bounces in the stock market today. So it makes sense why this paused. It doesn't mean we're going to crash down to nothing. It means that we're pausing here because there's gains to be made elsewhere. People's attention are elsewhere right now. Today was the stocks. So we'll see what happens on this pullback today. I switch over to Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, again, we talked about this. I talked about this, right? We had this whole resistance price cluster from 52,000 to 65,000 in this blue box right here. So obviously we are going to see some hesitation in the price here. I know some people all of a sudden, they're really talking about Elliott wave. People like Elliott wave. Okay. So if we're going to get an Elliott wave, if it's going to be textbook, okay, this 3 should have went way longer. So this is kind of a problem already in the Elliott wave on the daily. The 3 needs to be the longest with a pullback like that. So there's kind of an issue right here where all of a sudden we should have rallied more, but we stopped, because you know that if you've been trading every morning, or if you just pay attention to the price every morning, that it's been Wall Street that's been pumping this price, not pumping, but buying this price up, and they stopped today. Okay, we did not go up further. Also on the technicals, we're a little bit overbought. Okay, on the technicals, you could just erase this yellow. Just have the resistance and the supports like that in the gray. So if we bring up some indicators just to get a little bit of extra information. Okay, we are still riding our EMAs. That's fine. That's totally fine. We're coming down to rest here. Okay, that's totally normal price action. We're still golden crossed up. Okay, if all of a sudden the price did that, then I would be concerned. But we're still holding our support. Our invisible supports are holding here. So although we might lose a little bit of momentum, the question becomes how far, if we do pull back, where are we going to go down? So bearish scenario would be 51.6K. Immediate support is 53.4K. Then 50,000. So those are our 3 downside support levels. 4 hours, a much longer chart. We're talking about a couple of days from now. So we'll see that it's just right at this inflection point right here. We've been bouncing, and then it's fading back down for 24 hours down to here where we are right now. And on the 1 hour, okay, a little bit of momentum building. So again, the question is, will Asia session and European session over the next 24 hours Are they going to buy this dip or not? Are people going to flow back into stocks and not care about crypto for a couple days? It's possible, right? But long term, all we have to think about is, will support hold? Horizontal support and trendline support as well. And we just watch for that. So on the 15-minute and 5-minute, it's not really oversold, deep oversold. So we could see some further pullback today before it finds some relative support level, although this is building. So longer term charts like H4, we could get a little bounce and then on the price and then try to pull back one more time. H1 looks like, we're not oversold in H1 anymore. So now we're just playing off these EMA supports. So we might be able to pull down to like 53.2K, right? Downtrend it, just really push it down as far as possible. Then 15-minute, 5-minute will get oversold at some point or support level at least, and then try to bounce one more time. But on the daily, this is not the greatest risk to reward area where we are right now, 55K, right? Because we, was it 1 week ago? We were at 42. So we're up 30%. Somebody out there is going to take their profit, at least a little bit. So we want to watch out for that. Okay, if you have a request, go ahead and type it in the live chat box. We can do anything here that's available on TradingView that I can access. So we're talking stocks, crypto, commodities, Forex, foreign stocks, international stocks, all that goodness. So if no one has any requests, let's just go down and do a little bit more crypto work. Also, we have to realize I'm changing the chart to Bitcoin futures. This is Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Very important to watch this chart. Because if you look at futures, there's been no pullback at all. That's not good. No pullback at all. So this is the first consolidation on daily futures chart. And it's notable. But is the rally over? No, it's not over. Why? Because we just established, here's my brush. We just established a higher high, a higher low, and now we're seeking the higher high with resistance on this left side. So this is more like an intraday pullback. Okay? So I'll just watch out for that. Right? It's not over, so don't throw in the towel and just give up and run away and walk away from charts and stocks and crypto. It's not over. We're not crashing, right? It's just a consolidation pullback. It's one candle, by the way. But if history repeats itself on the left side here in 2020, we'll see that we can get some over extension and then we'll get a larger pullback. This is not the largest overextension we've ever had. But the most recent price action, like I was trying to tell people yesterday, is we did go right here in July about 40% and then pull back. So we went almost like 40%, 35, 36%, right? Are we going to literally repeat this candle pattern? This, boom, you see this? One red and then one doji and then one larger red pullback and then a continuation? Totally possible. So you just want to kind of watch this range. 56,000 to 53,000. That's our immediate support and resistance range. And intraday, you can find some more clues. But after a couple more days, we'll see exactly what's going on here if you're a longer term trader. Let's do Cardano. Always appreciate requests. Okay, Cardano. So we just talked about this yesterday. Let me reset my timer. We just talked about this yesterday. We have to realize though, long term Cardano, long time ago, I remember this used to be like 3 cents, even in the March 2020. So we just have to understand Cardano's up 79 times the price according to this chart, or 70 times the price, right? Or 10x, whatever you want to call it, right? From wherever you're looking at. But from the bottom to the top, at least 60 times gains, which is absolutely phenomenal. That's what everybody wants in crypto. What I would draw is the trend line. Get your support and resistance up. This is a longer term chart that I'm drawing here. You can see we have a very sharp, steep one right here, like that. And then we have our horizontal resistance and supports. Boom. And probably the breakout spot as well. There's one right here. And I'll move in and explain this. So after a consolidation period and we survived on Cardano, this was starting to get bearish, but we had a continuation pattern on Bitcoin. So we rallied up and now it's consolidating down to here. Whereas here, right above $2, we found support at $2 and then we bounced up with Bitcoin. So what we have to realize is Cardano is actually very correlated with Bitcoin, regardless of the price of Cardano. So we have a consolidation pattern forming. I know there's a lot of lines on the chart now, but you see we have this kind of intermediate triangle right here, little baby ascending triangle on Cardano. And if this turns out to be true, long term, I'm talking about weeks and months here, longer term targets, plus or minus 10%. So 252 is the upside target, 252, and then $2 lower support. Now we should note that, okay, it has been fluctuating today. Yesterday night was actually a decent spot of value. Why? Because it was at this relative trend line support with one more day of Bitcoin gains, right? Or anywhere here, just writing the support in blue is a lower risk entry than trying to test the breakout, right? If you buy the top here as a day trader and then it just goes down, you're like, what happened? It's because we didn't buy at a relative support level. So I would watch for that. And depending on what, how advanced you are, you could just track the intraday price and see, are we going to get some momentum on this coin? But again, because Cardano is so correlated with Bitcoin, I would watch Bitcoin first and then flip to this chart to understand what's happening. The only good thing I'll say about Cardano is we did go from downtrend to a short-term uptrend. So for me, if the two spots I'll be really staring at on this chart is right here and right here. So the lower 220, the 220, right? If this price pulls back down, that's a support level. So somebody could try to, this is not financial advice, educational, but a trader could theoretically try to do it like this. Right, so it's your entry, stop loss, profit target with a moderate to medium, smaller size position size because of what Cardano is, and try to do that. The only second part, if Bitcoin continues to run, then the breakout play would execute, and then you have the same kind of logic there. Okay, our timer. Yes, Shiba. Somebody, let's look at Shiba because we somebody asked me about that like a week ago, and I told them the uh, the um, the TA because what I told this guy, I forgot who it was, but I told him exactly what might happen. Is I told this guy yesterday, I mean last week, about this parallel channel, and I said to watch this parallel channel very, very closely. Very, very closely. As a long-term trader, I said to watch the break of 900, watch 750, and watch 600. Meaning that if we break through 900, that was the possible buy signal. We talked about that like way over here. So I said watch Dogecoin, watch Bitcoin, watch Elon Musk likes to tweet. This is because of Elon Musk's tweet. I hope people understand that, and Bitcoin Run as well. So, but on the chart, yeah, multiple bullish signals. And so I said the big break is this 900. So anybody who watched the stream on that day and really took it seriously knew way ahead of time. Once you break this, you're going to run up on Shiba Inu coin. Where? And to anywhere up here, because it's a micro coin, right? So yes, this is an obvious, this is a no FOMO play. Okay, so if you're watching the stream 1 or 2 weeks ago, whenever that one person asked for, and I told exactly what to do, right, the exact 2 levels to watch for, um, this was more no FOMO. So this is what we're looking for when you have periods of consolidation. Then you make a plan, right? You don't make a plan up here for if you're trying to make massive gains. So you just want to watch out when you're up like this. When a crypto runs up like a madman, 100, 200, 300, 500, 10, 1000%, you're probably going to have to be a lot more cautious. If you zoom in a lot, okay, like on a H1, we lost a trend line. Okay, so the trend line, that's a big yellow flag, and we already tested and rejected down from it. So that's a yellow flag to me. Not good. So I think the only next best spot for Shiba Inu, which I don't really recommend it to beginners, is because usually when people try to chase, they get wrecked and get destroyed in crypto. But if I were to try to play the follow-up of Shiba Inu, I would be looking for discounted values down here. So the first maybe bounce might be 2100, then 1770, 1350. Those are better spots of value because we just lost this entire trend line. Okay, so when crypto crashes, and we're downtrending. I wouldn't be surprised if we try to retest 22241 down here and then try to pull back down to any of these 3 levels. It's just a matter of how deep will the pullback go. On the 15-minute, it looks like somebody out there is trying to keep this momentum alive. But again, because it's up so high, you could just do it by feeling too. Although I don't recommend people to do this, but the sentiment, are people hyped up about Shiba Inu, or are they scared? Are they greedy about it, or are they fearful, right? So if people are fearful about it, it depends on the situation, right? Fearful here is not the same as fearful here, if you know what I mean. It's relative fear. So I would just watch this one closely if you're trying to play it, but use smaller position size. Don't go all in on something like this because I've seen people lose all their money in one day. So don't do that, please. But if you're wondering, how did you know? How would we be able to know FOMO this? It's because there's one person last week who requested this, and I told him the exact levels to watch for. I hope he made money on this. All right. So next one, let's do GPB CHF. So we're moving to Forex now. We'll change our mindset just a little bit. British pound, Swiss franc on Oanda. We'll do some Forex and then we have some more crypto requests. We'll just go in order here. I'm trying to go faster. All right. So the first thing to note is monthly in a downtrend. Monthly in a downtrend. Monthly downtrend. Like this. Now that we have some constraints, so we can even draw another one here. This is what I like to do. Start long term, get your big picture going. And weekly. Boom. Like this. So weekly, what's going on with GPBCHF? It's in a weekly bull flag. Okay, we'll zoom in a little more. I'm probably presuming you're maybe more of a day trader. Shorter term, not many people are long term Forex traders. So it is riding between these 2 levels like that. Okay, so like bull flag, we had to run up into a bull flag. Also, it's important to note that this support line that I drew, the downward trend line, that was there for like 4 years straight. Okay, so this is how you have no FOMO. We put some effort into the charts and lock in our technical analysis. You could lock this trend line in. Now it's there, saved. You got to save it on your up here. Got to save it. Save in all your lines, And then when you come back to it, you just realize that, okay, after the pandemic crash, oh, nice. It's been holding support here and break through this resistance, run up, consolidate to the side. Now you're probably wondering, what are we going to do now? So since it's consolidating to the side, it's in a very, very subtle downtrend. If you really think about it, okay, this high might have changed things in this high. So it's tight, starting to tighten up. It used to be in the textbook downtrend, but it's kind of trying to make some moves here. We draw another triangle. You see that? So the better spot of value if somebody's long, I don't know if you're long or short, but 125 right there, when we established this pivot point right here, 125, October 1st. So that's related to what happened to the USA with the debt limit, and it's a new month and all that kind of stuff. And it's rallying as well because what's happening in global economies, what's happening, we had some like a pullback down fundamentally because of like Evergrande fears. Remember that last week? And US debt ceiling just reached a short-term deal. That's why everyone's super happy about stocks today, that we might be able to get one more month of good trading or something like that. If I'm really sensitive to this chart, maybe this might be an upside down head and shoulders. Maybe. Right? So a 0.8% move, pretty decent pip size. So if this turns out to be true, the upside target would be 127 up here, upside target. If it fails, it would pull back down to 125,280 down here. I'm just reading the numbers out flat. So I would watch for that. It's kind of turning into a tightening range. It was downtrending and then tightening. So if it does not break out to the upside and gets stuck here at 126, 571, somewhere up here where my blue circle is, then you might anticipate it to pull back down at least to a very, very intermediate support level of like 126 even, like this, if it's going to pull back down. A really good spot of value might be somewhere down here. That's a pretty significant move for Forex. Okay, next one. Hopefully that helps, right? Because some people, they request Forex and they want to go short. So it kind of helps if you give me a little more detail at some point, whether somebody's like a day trader, long, short, it all helps. Okay, so New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We zoom out. Ooh, there's a very interesting. I'm on a log chart, by the way. Maybe I'll turn it off for people. So we're on a regular chart now. And you can see the trend line right here. I'll let that poke down to the bottom side. So again, this trend line was here for 13 years to 12 years, right? So that's why it's kind of important. You're sure on both. Okay. So as a day trader, okay. So I got to zoom in a little more. I'm just saying these resistance lines are here. So you could get like the big picture and then you zoom in a lot. So the weekly bounced down from that resistance. The daily is starting to consolidate. You can see here the day trend pulling back down. Okay. And our H4, we're still in this channel. I'm running out of room here on this chart. I'm zoomed in a lot. Okay. So if somebody's trying to short as a day trader on leverage Forex, then you really want to understand where the resistances are. Right? Resistance are your best friend. So our resistance up here, resistance trend line up here, there's a whole bunch like that. Then we have our one support line down here. So on a 15-minute, right, now you can see immediate resistance at 6975 and immediate support at 6873. Okay, so this is also kind of tightening as well, but I would be a little bit beware of this one because if we're really sensitive to the chart and understand trend, we were downtrending. We just established a higher low and we're tightening. So this could be a potential trend reversal. I would caution people about that. Just like here, you downtrended, but then it started uptrending, right? So somebody tried to short right here, expecting this to go down. They lost that trade. So right here on the H1, this was a good short entry because you had the double top, boom, and then it's down, and then you found a support and bounced. So there's only two scenarios here that I see is that if we do not break above 6944, this blue circle right there, if we don't rally above that blue circle, then you might see some pullback down to 6899. But I would watch out for that because if this breaks out, retest, then you're going to get into an uptrend and then it's not time to short. So I would just watch out for that very, very closely. So yeah, on a 15-minute, there was a definite short setup, and I was telling somebody about this on like the South African um, forex pair yesterday. Is that when you see this, there's a resistance. You short the resistance. You can either short here. You might already know this, but you can short here and target the downside or target two. You sell half here and sell half here, or if you missed it, then the loss of this support at 6929 back in history, this here would have been a nice trade and then closed it out. So one reason for the uptrend could be short squeeze, day trader short squeeze, where too many people try to go short at this spot, and then longs know it's over and they won for now. So on a very short term, it's still 15-minute uptrend. I hope people realize that. So you want to watch out for it. You just want to get prepared for, is there going to be the next setup, which is not easily seen. This is a very obvious setup, very obvious. This one now just looks like it's holding that support. So the loss of support on this trend line after a retest down would probably be the short signal on it, like a 5-minute or 15 minutes. So I hope that helps. Okay, XAU. Oh, and actually we have one more on the YouTube. EGLD. Okay, EGLD. And then we'll come back to TradingView requests. Okay. EGLD. This might not have all the data, but EGLD was in its monthly uptrend. Very nice. Boom, like that. So seeking out a higher high point. That's all we need to know on the monthly chart. On the weekly chart, we need to know that we have a resistance box up here, $300 range. $300 range. And we could try to box it in like that. Our immediate resistance, 268. Immediate support, what's that? 220. We zoom into a day chart, then you see we're riding this trend line. Hold on, my alerts are going crazy right now. The trend line right here, we're riding this up, and it's tightening on a day chart. So you see this in the blue. Oh, you said on the weekly. Okay, so on the weekly, yeah, it did set that lower high on the weekly. So that might not be the greatest signal for EGLD. But again, if you only stare at a weekly or monthly chart, you can't see the inside day price movement. So we'll go in one more time frame lower than yours. So we'll look at it daily, right? We had a double bottom here. We tried to rally and it failed and it pulled back. Very correlated with Bitcoin in this last move only. So since it's tightening equilibrium, there's a plus or minus 25% long-term EGLD on the breakout. If it's bullish, then we'll test this resistance 289. Somebody retrend and such like that is this is uptrend, this is downtrending on this side, obviously have inflection point, then uptrending, okay, and it's hesitating now. This is more like a gigantic bull pennant, large. And so if we do not break out, it might lose momentum. So in the triangle, the two, it's going to break out. That's going to be the momentum. Or for your chart, because if you're looking at weekly, that's all you really need to know. These two levels. literally, and that it's still baby uptrending. So okay, right? It might try to do that. That would be nice. But if it doesn't, then it'll pull back down to 220. And if 220 doesn't hold, it'll break down, retest. That happens like almost all the time. So that's just a couple scenarios to watch out for. Okay, gold. Gold. Let me do a fresh chart on like a different exchange. All right, this is the forex.com chart. Let me just refresh chat. Sometimes chat freezes. Okay. So gold spot. To understand, gold is a global asset. It's a metal, can also be viewed as a safe haven commodity. And so we have to realize that gold is very correlated to stock market, S&P 500, and has some relationship to Bitcoin, crypto as well. So again, 2020, we had some massive uptrending moves, pulled back into a downtrend. And this is still a longer term downtrend to me. Okay. It's a descending triangle, right? Just two lines and you understand the pattern. So you try to connect as many as possible like that. And this is what I'm seeing in a longer term picture. There are also, you could draw intraday lines in here. So there's a triangle inside of the triangle. So you just connect it out, make it nice and clean, and then you have your immediate resistance support 1837 and 1724 like that, and then our resistance 1769. Then we start zooming in. Start zooming in. Okay, right there, H4. Is this going to turn into a potential upside down head and shoulders? If it is, 1.27% from the neck breakout would bring us to 1790. That's our bullish target. If we break down from the neck, we come back to the bottom of the head, 1722, like that. So now we just got some real easy targets as longer term swing trader. We just had to realize that we went from a downtrend to a possible uptrend reversal. The inflection point is right here, and the pattern is forming. Also, this trend line was broken. This you'll see a lot of cryptos. It looks this exact same way. Crypto and some metals. You're downtrending like that, downtrending, and then we just had the break. So Bitcoin was the leading indicator. And if you've been in the crypto market long enough, you know that Bitcoin can be sometimes a leading sentiment indicator before anything else goes. So Bitcoin popped up way before the stock market popped up. So this exact same setup is potentially happening in gold. Although gold doesn't like to, have massive rally like that right away. But suspicious looking to me. There's a pattern. Somebody could call that. The only thing I would look for if somebody's a day trader, 1771 resistance, 1743 support. Literally, because it's going sideways like that. What needs to happen for uptrend, we need a breakthrough like that and hit the top of this triangle. That needs to happen. And when it's consolidating to the side, right, anything is possible. You just watch those two levels. You can just zoom in all the way. You see the price. Even though, right, you can look at like RSI, MACD, or EMAs and stuff like that, but it's so choppy, right? All you need to know is you set two alerts or two orders or whatever you want to do, and you can actually measure this little box. That's why I love technical analysis, the 1.27%, which is exactly this, almost the same as our upside down head and shoulders target, right? So the two spots literally are these two spots, 1748. Let me use a very small risk to reward box because if somebody's leveraged, I'll just use 0.5 to 1 risk, right? Somebody could go try to go long here, 1748, and then try to just play that one bounce. But understand it could, if this thing breaks down 1.2%, it's going down to 1725, you would get stopped out on that. But the inverse is true. If it breaks out, okay, and you happen to buy the breakout, then hopefully it doesn't flash crash into your stop loss like that. So hope that helps. Okay, Ethereum. Ethereum. It's been a while. Ethereum. So this might not be the greatest chart to look at. I'm going to switch to log chart because it's a crypto. Now we can draw, you could draw something like this. Very steep. Okay, very steep. Somebody could say that we did break out and test it. So we could draw it like that. Very steep. Then we start going inside. Right now you can see the pattern forming on the weekly is we're uptrending almost, right? It consolidated to the trend line, which got a little sloppy here. But you see it, right? Before this was just black space, it's empty space, but then it filled into the support and bounced, and one more time here. But the problem is this pattern forming. Yes, is it ascending triangle? Maybe, right? Maybe. So now it's getting a little too messy. This is what I would do. Set your resistance zone, which I would pull down a little lower like that. Okay. Then you got to draw some trend lines. You could probably go a little deep with this one. I'm going to use extended trend line. Use extended trend line on the top as well. Okay, now if you zoom back out, okay, this one didn't quite go, but close enough, right? Close enough. I wouldn't force it. You could tweak it a little bit. Actually, you could tweak it if you want to make it more accurate. Something like that makes more sense, right? Then it becomes a very powerful trend line. That's why 2778 here, everybody knew if you drew that line, which was there for how many years was that there for on F? Almost 2 years, right? Then that's why I love extended trend lines. Draw it, lock it in, lock it in. That's why any person who went long here on Ethereum after this downtrend knew you have some relative support. If you don't draw that kind of stuff, then there's no way to know exactly, right? So then you put it on, and it's all of a sudden the eyes are open. Oh, it's support. Nice. So we hit that rally. But if the very first pairing I did on this stream is total or chart total. So total, we're hitting this resistance even before, right? We're already in the resistance zone on total. When we flash back to Ethereum, this actually might have some trouble reaching the top here because it's a resistance zone here and here and here. Is it over? No, the rally is not over forever. It's just we're taking a break because of what happened to stocks today. Nice bullish stock moves. We even have an intraday H4 line. So if someone was trying to buy this like 1 or 2 days ago when I was trying to say buy Bitcoin in this zone, that's why it's correlated, right? Boom, pull back to touch it, and then you're up, and now we're consolidating to the side. So since it's floating kind of in the middle here, it's kind of coin flip, right? Because it's not at the support line. It's battling its own internal resistance right here. So where would be better spot of value if somebody has patience? Here, 3,500. The bottom right here, see the X marks the spot right there, 35.22. But if it happens to break out and we have people in the Asian session who are saying, you know what, the technicals are looking nice, and we break through the resistance, which is just trying to do right now, then the target would be 3,800 up here. Another X marks the spot. So if we zoom in real close on the 5-minute, you could see this another ascending triangle pattern within its own ascending triangle, larger pattern. All right, so this is 3,500 would be a nice spot of value, but it's not the lowest spot it might go. Right, Bitcoin needs to sell off. But on H5, are you at a relative low spot of value? Not really, right? 8 hours ago, 12 hours ago was a better spot. So, the thing with crypto is sometimes we might not always catch the move in our time zone, whatever time zone you're in. That's why you have to do some technical analysis and get ahead of it, because established swing traders and investors drew this bottom yellow line here, or the larger yellow line, you know what I'm saying, way back here, and that's why they knew. Somebody's accumulating right here. This is not just retail. Big hedge funds, institutions were buying this right there. They knew. Okay, so hopefully that helps. All right. Ecstasy, I'm just gonna do, let me see. I'm not gonna chart both, but let's see which chart. Let's do ecstasy Bitcoin pairing because sometimes that likes to move first. Sometimes you'll see coin to coin pairings move first before the USDT pairing moves first. So we'll look at our weekly chart here. Why is it hesitating here? Right off the bat, right off the bat, resistance, trend line. And then the total problem, right? Because if the market cap is getting stuck here, everything is getting stuck here on like every coin right now. So you have to realize how do we have no FOMO is that we have to pre-plan at least a little bit, right? If somebody, because the problem with being only a day trader is you're just staring at charts like this on a 5 minute like this, and there's not much context there. What I recommend, like what I do is what I learned from like even just Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve head chairman, is that he looks at global stocks on a Saturday. So that's how I learned how to do that. I spend time on Saturday. Who the heck is charting on Saturdays, right? So if you chart on a Saturday, you're already having an advantage over other people. So you could draw this, right? So this line was here for almost 1 year, and you hit that support, and then there's this pattern right here, 73%. Okay, so if this pattern is true, that the right here, this pattern, if this pattern is true, then the target is supposed to be 80% up possible. So 2489, somewhere up here, which would make sense because that's our resistance test. The problem is are we going to get there or not? Because we are finding our support level, our support trend line, and it's back testing the support like that. That's why I'm not calling this as over. This will be over if we lose it and start downtrending, then it's over. I would say this is canceled then. The target's canceled. But it's not over yet. Bitcoin, just 1 day hesitation. It's fine. It's fine. Because we're looking at trend. That's why trend is way more important than like any single indicator out there. The price is way more important than anything. Price and volume. Only thing I'll watch out for is the volume is decreasing while price is increasing. And we are nearing the support level. Move in, right? It's just very choppy. So some of this is bots. Some of this is just day traders. Like it'll get, it'll pump up and then sell off, and then nobody wants to buy it anymore overnight. Then same thing, but it's still uptrending. Nice. So just kind of watch out for the support level here. Interesting spot of value if somebody wants to try it, although it's very obvious, is 1283 support, the blue circle. Right? If somebody has enough patience to try to do that, then you could put your stop loss over here. It's a large stop loss, so this is not an all-in type, something like that, and that might work. But again, Tezos kind of strange. Is people might not be using all the indicators, so that's why I just stare at the price on a 15 minute. Okay, if it's gonna stop here, upside down, head and shoulders. Alrighty, we just roll with the changes. If it's 8% up from the neck breakout, okay, that target might be 1607, short-term target. Okay, but then if it fails, how many percent was that? 8, right? So if it fails, 8% will bring us right down to the blue circle down here, okay? So these are the two levels that if you're just going to stare at the Tezos chart today, I would just, do this. Because is it trying to break out of this upside down head and shoulders pattern and do this? Very possible. Very possible. So I would pay attention to that. And it kind of, if you really want to have some, bullish case thesis, it's like, okay, it's kind of coming at this support, coming down and holding to this support level. But big picture, if somebody's trying to make the 40% is it going to rally or not? We might be staring at a relative low at an ecstasy. It's possible. But keep in mind Bitcoin as well. Okay. What time is it right now? Got 15 minutes left. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over to stock indexes because we need to talk about that. Hopefully that helps whoever asked for that. Um, okay, SPX on a daily. All right, so I do need to point out to people that in my Discord, I have a free weekly watch list. Okay, I have free weekly watch list, and I just say I keep it simple. I don't need to make it 10 pages long, right? It's just really what's gonna happen and important for the week. So on Dow Jones, S&P 500, and Nasdaq U.S. stock market, I said we're gonna have. Where was Sunday? Right here, this Friday and Sunday. I said we're gonna have the support test. Okay, support test meaning testing the bottom support like that. Okay, and then I said we're gonna have a daily lower high price potential, and then what does that mean? Lower high bounce. So we had two correct calls, right? On all the indexes, we're gonna support test first, and then bounce up to make the lower high. And what exactly happened 4 days later? Exactly that. Okay, so I need to point that out to people. Bitcoin as well. What did I write down in my weekly watch list right here? Right on the bottom list, resistance test. Resistance test. And I wrote this on September, on like October, on Sunday, whenever the heck that day was. I had a stream on this particular day and I gave the two scenarios of where to buy. All right. So right here is what I think when I wrote this. Resistance test. Resistance test. What does that mean? Resistance is where? It's up here. We're testing resistances. This one we tested. This one we're tested. This one we might test up here, right? So I correctly called that. And then what else might happen? Higher low price potential might happen, okay? Higher low doesn't always have to. I said we might get this, which would have been a beautiful bullish pattern, but I also said it might keep going. So if it pulls back down, we establish a very baby higher low here, okay? Here. Longer, much longer term, okay? I'm expecting maybe 3, 4 months from now, if the rally does not continue up, then we might fade back down to establish another higher low like 3 months from now. If it pulls back down, if it doesn't, it might go up more, right? Just consolidation, we see it, and then break the resistance. If we break 5,600 and within 1 week, then we're up, right? So S&P 500. What I need to point out, we already covered Shiba Inu. So after this, you just rewind. If you have another crypto, let me know. So SPX, again, we're at the trendline resistance. Okay, the target was 1.5%. 1.5% is 4424 up here. So we're right at the cusp of this test. Two scenarios that can happen in stocks is technically, right, consolidate to the side. We might have a repeat of this. So this is the bearish scenario, like this, and pull back down to 4296, starting from end of this week on into next week. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is we actually break out, retest, and get out of this downtrend because the debt limit was extended for a month. But please keep in mind, stocks earnings starting in 2 to 3 weeks from now. So earnings is going to be a make or break for the U.S. stock market. If we have bad earnings and every company starts doing bad for whatever reason, then we can expect the downtrend to continue. But if earnings are good, we could see it try to uptrend. But then the adversary to that rally would be the Federal Reserve tapering start in November. So this month and next month is going to be pretty volatile for all asset classes. Okay. Also, you could have drawn that trend line and understand the pattern that we're in. So it's already pullbacking on the H1, H4, and I do need to point out that in just yesterday's stream, I called this upside down head and shoulders on the S&P 500, and 1.75 was the target. We almost hit that target, which is this previous resistance zone. Now we're pulling back to retest. This is completely normal price action. This happens all the time. So I went long on stocks this week, and I'm up in the money. I'm made money this week, so I'm doing fine in stocks. right? It's just a matter of understanding, okay, is this going to hold and continue or is this not? All right, so Dow Jones, really fast. I literally circled the spot 1 or 2 streams ago of exactly where we're going to go. Okay, so anybody who bought stocks here probably made some money in the past couple days. This one's a little more tricky though, because I know it's kind of dirty, but you did find that support here, like I was saying in my Discord, and there's a double bottom. Okay, so 1.5%. We almost hit that range today. We poked it. Now, in the intraday is it went from a downtrend to a possible uptrend, except we hit the resistance zone of 34.9K. Right here, 34.9K. Like that. So we could pull back down to 34.4K. Yeah, let me erase the circle. We don't need that anymore. We could pull back down here, right? And still try to maintain the uptrend like that. We can even pull back to retest here deep 34.2. Oh, thank you so much, Sheplik. Really appreciate the 100 coins donation. Thank you so much. It really means a lot and helps to support everything that we're doing here. Thank you for following and joining. Really appreciate it. Oh, I could write a box. That's cool. You can write messages. That's like a new thing. Awesome. Okay. So again, thank you, Sheplik, for the 100 coins donation. Trading view is the best. All right, here we go. Um, so we could pull back and we could retest that. Now, Dow Jones is a little more tricky, right? Because you had this like pullback, and then it's trying to do this. What end up might happening is we could consolidate. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Trading View. Really appreciate it. Thanks for going live. Please also send us any feedback you have about stream so we can make it better. Okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about the feedback. Yeah, I guess I would have to reply to the help center for that. I think so, right? So thank you so much, Trading View, for 350 coins. Trading View is the best. Literally, best charting service in the world. Oops. Oh, can't post the same message again. Okay. So wonderful, wonderful. Uh, we'll just close it out here. On this is that 3.5% is if we really bull run out of this pattern, the double bottom here. If this is real, 3.5%, 36.2K right here. Boom, like that. If not, this could get interesting, and we have this resistance right there. It would be for Dow Jones, it would actually be pretty strange if we consolidate into this descending triangle pattern like that. Haven't had that in a long time. So we want to watch out for that. Again, with any asset class like stocks or crypto, we don't want to get dollar signs in our eyes and lose all control and throw our charts out the window. Is we need to maintain a sense of like maintain the plan of action. So for me, I do have a plan of action. I got to move my stop losses up, protect my profit. Just like as an example here, I need to move my stop losses up and protect my profit. Right? I can't leave my stop loss down here when I'm up in my positions. Right? You got to move it higher, but not too high to the point where you get stopped out in 2 seconds tomorrow. at 6:30 in the morning, but or 9:30 in the morning. But you got to manage it because that's what the problem people have with the El Salvador news crash on Bitcoin is that people didn't move their stop losses when the rally was going up, and then when you had the flash crash down on Bitcoin, people just like lost their gains. So we don't want that to happen. Okay, last one before we move on here. QQQ, Nasdaq ETF. So the thing with Nasdaq ETF is we're talking tech stocks now. We're talking tech stocks. Um, what you want to watch out for is this weekly and monthly consolidation that's kind of starting. Because we have to remember, tapering starts in November next month and goes for a whole year straight. It goes for a whole year straight. So we could get significant pullback if earnings is not strong enough to hold us up this year. And the only silver lining that we have for QQQ is anything above 340.57, 340.57 is could be a higher low. But if we lose, which we already started to almost lose it, right? We're trying to defend it this week so hard. Bulls are trying to defend it this week. If we lose this could become a kind of problem for stocks on the weekly, right? But bulls don't like to give up that easy. So if this closed at weekly hammer, that'd be nice. That would confirm our trendline support down here. Day charts, yeah, we just got that one gap up, and that's what I've been saying on these streams is that okay, it's the scenario was if we downtrend, if we reject here, okay, we're going to go down more. But if we hold it and break up, we might have to pull back down to retest this support here before we try to go up on the earnings for the next 2 to 3 weeks, like that. So we want to just really, really pay attention to that. The EMAs are down crossed, but we've seen that happen before. So zooming out on the big picture, it's more about like fundamentals and like we just had the President Biden speech on vaccines today. That has some effect on sentiment and psychology. And the Federal Reserve, their personnel changes, their policy changes, it's all going to have an effect. We could do okay. Let's do a quick review of Shiba Inu. You know, you don't have to rewind. Shiba Inu. So what I was saying is, okay, why I became low FOMO charts is we just never want to chase too much. It's just like nature. We'll take a pause here. It's just like nature. If you've ever tried to go fishing, if you try to go fishing or you try to go hunting or something like that, like I've been fishing before, and if you try to make a lot of noise in the water and you try to run around in the ocean or the lake and you're just trying to grab stuff with your arms, you're chasing, right? You grab this and off, nothing happens. You go over here and you grab, you punch the water, right? That's not the way to do it. Trading or longer term trading is with technical analysis is you just get prepared, right? You get prepared. Like I was telling the one person whoever requested, I forgot who it was, but I was saying on Shiba Inu coin is we're literally consolidating on this coin. I think he asked me right here. He asked me right here. So I was saying basically the two levels someone had to watch out for was basically 900, the middle of the channel here, 735, and 564, like that, right? So, and I told them watch Dogecoin, watch Bitcoin, and we know that Elon Musk his tweets are powerful, right? And it moves the market. So I was telling him also, I might have said this, I don't really remember, but if is this potential upside down head and shoulders, I think I said this, is that okay, it might go plus 45% if it breaks out or more and it went like 300%, right? That's crypto for you right there. That's crypto for you. So now what you might be wondering is our candle body is going to close in 2.5 hours from now. You're going to have to zoom in. If you're a beginner, this is not financial advice, but I would not recommend trying to chase if you're a beginner, right? If you're experienced or advanced trader, then maybe you'll be able to, you know, repeatedly do this successfully. But I would be cautious, right? When something's up 200%, 300% crypto, you do not want to become a bag holder, so to speak. Meaning you're the guy who bought, you never want to be the guy who buys right here as a long and then you lose all like your entire position. You never want that to happen. Absolutely horrible situation. Negative 34% on whatever capital you put inside is absolutely unacceptable because it's hard to recover from that. But what's happening here is we had a series of higher highs, higher lows, and it was going up, trending. And then we got a little too overbought here and it pulled back down. We lost the support level. So anybody trying to play this trend line, it failed, went down, hit the resistance, and pulled back to right now. So if the downtrend is going to continue today and overnight, then the support we have to watch out for is 2160, the resistance 2626, like that. So that's the two. If I was trading this today, day trading, which I'm not, but if I was, I would watch for those levels and set some kind of general plan of action. How am I going to play this? That's what a lot of people do on Wall Street. They call it plays. Right, how am I going to play this? What am I going to do here? Where's my entry? Where's my stop loss? Where's my take profit? You get the green box here, the tool, the long tool. Where's my entry? Where's my take profit? So I don't want to make it too big for people, but this is not financial advice, just educational. Is where's my entry? Okay, if I want to play the aggressive support, put my entry here. I like to make a yellow line, set my stop loss at 2092 with a medium to small amount of capital, right? And then if it happens to bounce, I set my take profit up here. You're getting 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And as a day trader or swing trader, that's the business of trading. That's more trading and risk management. And if it goes up, then you move your stop loss up, probably manually if you're on like a Binance or something like that. And if you get stopped out, then you get stopped out. You don't hold it forever, right? Because you need to have discipline in trades. Like if you hold it forever, then this could happen. You just lose all your money or whatever the trade was. So that's why stop loss exists. And you could walk away from the computer for a certain period of time as well. Right? Once you just set your alerts on TradingView, right? You can set your alerts. That's why TradingView is awesome, right? All the tools you need, it's all here, basically. Just lock it in and save it, and then remember, kind of just like remember and understand what you're doing. You set alerts, right? Pretend I set alert on these lines, like this. I like to use gray lines or red lines. Right? You can set your alert. If we lose support, you put your alert, and then you can look back on the coin. If we happen to break above here, you can set your alert as well. So I would just watch out for that. The only thing I didn't say earlier is you could use Fibonacci tool from the breakout to understand the support levels. Okay, so now that you get your Fibonacci, your swing low to swing high on Fibonacci retracement, now you can see we touched that 50% retracement, bounced to the 382, and we're pulling back now. So the two scenarios that could happen on Shibu Inu is that we could double bottom and try to rally back up. If not, the downtrend will ensue and pull back down to 618. So this would be like 1822 right here, 1822. So the better spots of value, actually I did say this, is something like 1775, 1371, 1100, right? If you want like maximum value here. I would watch this closely if you're trying to do this. But then the problem is just psychologically is because once you open your phone or the exchange and you see Shiba Inu up oh my gosh, 150% or 200% per day, and then you want to jump and immediately grab that, right? But then that's how people get wrecked in the market, especially crypto. Is My style is more longer term trading, medium term trading, right? I don't day trade anymore crypto because of commissions and fees. Um, so I do longer term trading, just like I was trying to tell this guy last time. When you're in a consolidation, you just have to watch 900. That was it. That was it on this coin. So again, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Shiba Inu popped. Okay, right? If you missed out, okay, I just move on. I just move on because this happens like a couple times a year. So if you missed out, to me, no FOMO, no FOMO. It's fine. Just move on. How do we go here? Hour. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for everybody for watching and joining. Does anybody have any the last final crypto stock forex commodity request before we call it here? Just wait a couple seconds. Let's check our Bitcoin daily candle close in about 2.5 hours, 2.2 hours from now. Let's bring up one of the Asia charts. Okay, looks like we don't have any more requests. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching and joining. I'm streaming live on TradingView right now, and um, I'll probably stream tomorrow as well. I usually stream. I'm trying to figure out the best streaming time for people because I know people are international all around the world. Um, but I'll probably stream at some point tomorrow as well. Try to do shorter streams too. So thanks so much for watching and joining, and I hope you have a nice day, night, and week. And I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.